guys, my name's Mackyla and I study social sciences here at the University of Bath. This video will hopefully give you a bit of an overview of what it's like to be the first in families to go to university. I'm just going to talk through some of the challenges and myths that I've encountered before coming to university. So before I start, I'll just give you a little bit of a background about my education. So I studied A-levels at a college in Leicester. I studied government and politics, sociology and philosophy. Both of my parents work in manual jobs, so my dad works as a roofer and my mum is a hairdresser. So none of my parents really had the traditional route down to university. It was more go to school and then go straight into the workforce. So for me, it was a really big decision on whether I wanted to go to university or not, or I wanted to follow in my parents' footsteps and just go straight into the workforce. Luckily, my parents are really supportive and they've always encouraged me to do really well at school and have just supported me through anything that I wanted to do in my life, which is really, really lucky. So when I told them I wanted to go to university, they did help in any way they could. We did go visit a lot of universities together, which was really, really nice as well. So although your parents may not have been to university before, I would suggest getting them involved in the process, like the application process, just educating them more on what university is, just because it is nice to have that someone to talk to. You might not always want to talk to professionals. One of my favourite things about the University of Bath is the community we have here. So you're constantly surrounded by like-minded people who just want to succeed and are really passionate about the subject that they study. So before coming to university, I really struggled with deciding which university to choose. This was partly because I didn't really have anyone that I knew that had been to university before, and I didn't really know where I could get the advice about universities from. There is a lot of help available, so you can speak to maybe your personal tutors, you can speak to the careers service if you have one of those at your school or college, you can speak to the student recruitment teams that work at universities, and they're basically experts on university and especially the university that they work for. Another thing was deciding whether I wanted to stay at home while going to university or move away from home. There is a big stigma around how much debt you get into, and one thing that I was worrying about was whether I could afford to live away from home, so I had to find out about that first. Although you do get into debt after university, you don't really notice after you finish university. The payments are very small and you have to be earning over £25,000 to start paying it off anyway, and then after 30 years I think that the debt clears itself. Also, you do get a lot of funding to go to university, so you have a maintenance loan and you have a tuition fee loan. So the tuition fee loan goes straight to your studies and the maintenance loan helps things with everyday living, things like rent, gas, electric, food, things like that. Also, most universities will have bursaries or scholarships that you can apply to. Another challenge for me was looking at high tariff universities. Obviously the entry requirements for those are very high, and it's slightly off-putting, especially if none of your parents or guardians have been to university before. And at the time, getting into university itself was an achievement for me, so looking at high tariff universities wasn't really necessary, but I did want to push myself that little bit more. I would say don't let this put you off. If you are aiming to get high grades, then definitely apply for the high tariff universities, and also just seek advice and support that is available for you. Because at the end of the day, it's about finding what institution is right for you. Also, I think there's a bit of a stigma around what kind of people go to maybe higher tariff universities. For me, I definitely thought maybe there'd be like a big class divide, and I just struggled to see myself fitting in. This was definitely another myth. One thing that I've definitely realised when coming to university is that the community is just so welcoming, and I think it is really important to start breaking down those stereotypes now. Although there might be a slight class divide, it's important that we be the people that break that divide, that we start applying for high tariff universities, although maybe we might not fit in. I definitely have fit in at University of Bath. You get to meet people from all different backgrounds, cultures, and it's definitely an eye-opener for sure. Or there might be some people who are quite insensitive to your background. It's also really important to maybe educate those people and just have in-depth conversations about, you know, your background, their background, and I think this is another thing that we can do to help overcome the stigmas, of university and who university is for. There are also a lot of clubs and societies that you can find like-minded people at, so I wouldn't worry at all about whether you're going to fit in or not, because you're bound to find at least someone that you click with. Lastly, I really do believe that education is for everyone, so don't let the stigmas around being first in family put you off. If you do want to go to university, make sure you seek all the advice possible, make sure you know what support is available for you, and good luck.